Hello, my Bill 5000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another MrBallen video. That's right, another MrBallen video. This one is titled Top 3 Photos with Disturbing Backstories Part 2. A dos. 2. Numero 2. All right. And I think next week, I've had a few requests for it, but we will be getting to it next week. It's MrBallen's Marine to YouTuber story. Yeah, that's coming up next week. So if you want to see that, definitely stay tuned to next Friday to catch a glimpse of that. I think it's going to be pretty good. All right. I'm excited to get into today's story. Oh, man. I really love the 3 stories, especially the ones with like the 3 photos with disturbing backstories. Like I watched one time, and like I was telling the old lady, like I guess it's a Lifetime movie. She ended up watching a Lifetime movie. I end up like catching like 15-20 minutes. They did it pretty good. Like I liked MrBallen's version better, but they did it pretty good. All right, I'm ready to get into this story.
Today, I'm going to tell you 3 progressively more horrifying stories that at the end of each of them, I'm going to show you the picture or pictures that are famously associated with that particular story. But before we get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right channel, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. If that's of interest to you, then please move into the top floor of a high-rise apartment building that does not have a working elevator, and then ask the like button to help you move. Also, please subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's
better than getting the poor like button eaten. Like, yeah, I mean, sometimes the like button makes it out of everything okay. Sometimes the like button just gets the shit into the stick all the way around.
On March 20th, 1980, significant volcanic activity began to occur all over Mount St. Helens in Washington state. The north face of the mountain had begun to visibly shake, and then by March 27th, there was steam coming out of the craters and vents all over the north side of the mountain. That April, scientists began to notice that there was this massive bulge that was growing on the north side of this mountain that was about 1 mile in diameter, and every day it was growing about 6 feet farther and farther up the mountain, and it was basically this massive undercurrent of magma that was going towards the top of the mountain, getting ready to explode. Initially, there was some speculation that perhaps...
So it was just like a water bubble going up the mountain? Like you could literally see it just... Oh, that's wicked. I don't know. Like a botfly underneath your skin? No, bro.
Perhaps this magma bulge is not nearly as big of a deal as people are making it out to be.
Oh, it's a big deal.
Really, at worst, it could be a small eruption, and it would have...
Bro, I don't give a fuck. If the world's about ready to explode at me, it is a serious situation. I don't give a fuck how little the explosion is when it happens. Magma is not something I've read about Pompeii, bruh. I don't know. A Bill 5000 statue would be pretty fucking cool, though. Huh.
No impact on the surrounding areas, but authorities...
Only if it happens while I'm wearing all my merch, that way I can be preserved in full Bill 5000 attire. You know what I mean? Then I might be okay with it.
Became skittish and were worried that they could just be caught with their pants down if this turned into a full-blown volcanic eruption.
Oh, yes.
So they began evacuating the area, and for the most part, everybody evacuated, with the exception of a few scientists and some photographers and some really hardcore people that did not want to leave their homes. One of those people who had stayed...
I guarantee you a lot of it's the older fuckers. Back in my day, volcanoes were big. What kind of pussy shit is this? Walked 10 miles to school uphill, both directions, no shoes, carrying my books in the snow, and there were snakes everywhere for some reason. I love them kind of old people, bro. They my favorite.
Behind was Robert Landsburg, who was a photographer, and on May 18th, 1980, he was out hiking.
Landsburg. Ain't that the name of the lady off of Murder, She Wrote? No, that's Lansbury. Never mind. I'm on a really old TV show kick right now. Like, Yes, I like Murder She Wrote. I also like Columbo and a lot of other ones. I love MASH. I love me some MASH, bro.
About 7 miles away from the summit of Mount St. Helens, and he was making his way up to try to find a good viewpoint of that north face. He wanted to look at that magma surge that was making its way up on the north side of the mountain. And so finally he makes his way up and he gets to a great spot and he starts taking pictures of that north face. While Robert is taking pictures of that side of the mountain, a 5.2 magnitude earthquake struck the area, causing that entire north face of Mount St. Helens to be sheared off and begin falling down the side of the mountain. It's this massive landslide. It's one of the biggest that's ever been recorded in that area. But what it really did is all of a sudden that
the video that we
magma surge that had been building up underneath on the north side, making its way up, suddenly is uncovered, and it causes this massive volcanic explosion shooting 15 miles straight up into the air. Along with this massive vertical blast, there was a simultaneous lateral blast basically pointed directly at Robert, and it sent these molten debris surging down the mountainside at 100 miles an hour or faster. Robert knew he had no hope of escaping this wall of magma and ash coming straight at him. So he decides, instead of trying to save myself, I'm gonna take his...
That's the best movie ever. Oh, I love that movie. It's a great movie. It's a great 2012, 2014. I forget the name of it. It's a great movie. Oh, damn.
Many pictures as I can of this volcanic eruption, and then I'm going to try to protect the film. And so Robert took as many pictures as he could of this massive volcanic wall of death coming towards him until the very last second when he puts his camera into his bag, he puts that into his backpack, and then he holds it against his chest and lays down on the ground using his body as the last protective measure to try to save this film for posterity. 17 days later, they find Robert Landsburg's body, and sure enough, he was able to protect his film by laying on top of it. And so they developed the pictures that he took, and they're incredible. Here are the final pictures that Robert Landsburg took before he was killed by the volcano.
Whoa.
On September...
That's chilling. Oh my God, to just see his impeding doom coming right at him in the pictures. Oh my God. I love it though. Man, my nipples are so hard.
21st, 2014, Darsh Patel, who was a 22-year-old college student, was out hiking in a New Jersey state park along with 5 of his college buddies. As they were about to head down a particular trail that they had actually gone to this park to go down, a man and woman come charging up the path towards them. And so Darsh and his friends stop, and they're looking at these 2 people who look totally distraught and scared. And the man and woman immediately say, "Hey, don't go down this path. We were just down there, and for the past 10 minutes, a black bear has been stalking us in the tree line. We don't know where it went, but we got up here, we turned around, and it was gone, but we would not suggest going down this path. It's just not worth it." Darsh and his friends tell the couple, "Thank you for giving us the heads up. We were actually going to go down that path, and so I guess now we won't." And so the couple, they quickly leave, and Darsh and his friends are sitting there thinking, well, now what do we do? Because this was the trail we were going to go down. This is why we're here. As they're standing there, they start talking about, well, maybe we just go down anyways. There's 6 of us. I highly doubt that a bear is going to come out of the woods and attack 6 people, especially a black bear that is not known to attack people.
They usually run away.
Why don't we just walk down a ways, and if we see the bear, then we just turn around and leave. And if we see the bear,
but what if it's not a black bear?
Make some good pictures. Let's just go down there.
What if the people was wrong and it's not a black bear? Maybe, what if it's a grizzly bear? Because then it ain't going to make a fuck if there's 6 people or not. Grizzly bears are angry. They're the Karens of the bear world. They're so angry all the time. No. See, I have this one. Her name's Karen. That she's a subscriber and it's on there. She's my favorite. No one's allowed to mess with her. I got you.
And see what happens. And they start walking. And sure enough, about 10 minutes into their trip down this trail, they see this massive bear parked right in the center of the trail about 250 meters away from where they were. The bear did not appear to be doing anything. It was just sitting there, but it was clearly looking at the group of them. So Darsh and his friends are just standing there, not really sure what to do, so they start taking pictures and videos. They're not moving any closer, but they just start documenting what they're seeing because this bear was apparently stalking this couple. It was pretty interesting, and they figured, hey, make some good pictures. So they start taking pictures and taking some videos of this animal, and the animal starts walking towards them. Now, it's 250 meters away. They recognize that this is a dangerous animal, and we don't want to get too close to it, but they felt relatively safe. Even if it started moving towards them initially, they still felt safe. But the animal starts jogging towards them. At this point, the boys put their phones away, turn around, and they start hightailing it the other way. And somebody looks back and notices the bear is now sprinting at them. This causes the group to completely panic. They start sprinting back towards where their cars were parked. Absolute full panic back up the trail. No one's paying attention to anybody else. They're just running for their lives. And as they're turning their heads to look, the bear is gaining on them and gaining on them. Finally, after about 10 minutes of just running for their lives, they make it to the parking lot and they turn around. There's no bear, but their short one hiker. Darsh Patel is still in the forest somewhere.
You know what they say. It's not if you can outrun the bear. It's just as long as you can outrun whoever's behind you. I'm telling you, you with a group of people, I'm tripping motherfuckers. Be like, nope, I know I'm slow. Fuck you, motherfuckers. I want a chance.
The group starts screaming for Darsh. They know there was this aggressive bear in there chasing them, so they're obviously worried about him potentially getting attacked, and so they immediately call 911. The police show up and park rangers show up, and they go into the forest to try to find this bear and to find Darsh. And very quickly they come across this bear in a clearing, this 300-pound bear all by itself, aggressively pacing around this lump in the middle of this clearing that had sticks and branches on it. It wasn't clear what it was, and this bear is just pacing in a circle around this thing. And as these two park rangers get closer, they're armed. The bear looks at them and makes a move like it's going to charge, and they elect to shoot and kill this bear. Later, the bear's remains would be taken to a laboratory, and inside of the bear's stomach was Darsh Patel. He had been killed and eaten by this bear, and that lump that was on the ground that the bear was circling was whatever was left of Darsh that had not been consumed yet. When they recovered Darsh Patel's phone, they went into his images, and they found he had taken one final picture before he was attacked. Here it is. The bear was not malnourished, it was not diseased, it just decided it wanted to stalk, kill, and eat a human.
Really? That's crazy. Especially
Vladimir
from black bears.
Komarov was a Soviet astronaut who in 1960...
Like, I don't know a whole lot about the bear shit, but I've been in the woods. I like to go hiking. I like to go camping. That's some of my favoriteest things. And if you go hiking or camping in any way, shape, or form, there's bears, there's wolves, you come across all this stuff. And normally, as long as you respect its boundaries, you're good. Keep a gun, keep bear spray, keep the shit that helps you live, but you're normally good. I have never seen a black bear and instantly thought, oh God, I'm going to die. Normally you see a black bear, you just go, oh, I'm going to go this way, not that way. Because they generally leave humans alone. Like, I've seen it. I don't want to say a shit ton, but I've came across more black bears than what I wished I would have in my walks through woods and stuff. And I've seen them. I don't know if they've seen me, but I'm sure they can smell me. Like, I'm pretty sure as soon as I seen them, I fart, and they're probably like, oh, yep, somebody seen me. That's a smell of scared fart in the air. But normally they just kind of like look at you, go, and you're like, yep. I feel you. I feel you, big dog. You do you, and I'm out. I don't like turn around and instantly run away because I don't want nothing to freak it out, thinking that, I'm doing something stupid. I just meander back out. I'm still alive.
67 was scheduled to orbit the Earth in the first manned flight of a particular Soviet spacecraft called the Soyuz. Komarov would be flying this mission solo, and so he needed a backup in case for some reason he couldn't go. And his backup was Yuri Gagarin, who was actually Komarov's best friend. This mission was very important to the Soviet Union, more from a political standpoint, but nonetheless, the pressure was on Komarov to successfully complete this mission. And so he, along with his backup, Yuri, had to train extra hard and make sure they did not screw this up. But it turns out the fail point for this mission was almost certainly not going to be Komarov or Gagarin if he ended up going instead of Komarov. It was going to be the spaceship itself. Gagarin, along with a host of engineers, did a full-blown inspection of the Soyuz and found 203 significant structural problems, and they all recommended postponement of this mission. But their recommendation was ignored because, again, this mission was so politically important to the Soviet Union that they were effectively ready to risk their astronauts to make it happen. When Komarov found out about all these structural issues and the fact that the powers that be were not even listening and were basically saying, "We don't care, you're doing this mission anyways," he was crushed, and he told a KGB agent that he was certain he was going to die. And this KGB agent would later say that he asked Komarov, "Well, then why don't you refuse the mission?" And Komarov said, "If I refuse the mission, they're going to make my best friend go, and he'll die up there, so I have to go." Gagarin pleaded with Komarov to relinquish the role, let Gagarin go instead of him, but Komarov was staunch. He said, "I've been given this mission, I'm going to go, you're going to stay here." But what Komarov did, which is so legendary, is he made sure his funeral, if he were to die in the course of this mission, would be open casket. Because he knew if he came back to Earth, it was probably going to be because this spaceship has crashed, and he wanted the Soviet leadership to see what they had done. So sure enough, Komarov gets in the Soyuz on launch day, he takes off, and the problems began almost immediately. They had very little power, they had limited communications with the ground, and the craft itself was spinning uncontrollably. Seeing how badly it was going already, Soviet leadership on the ground instructed Komarov to nix the mission and just try to come back to Earth. For 5 hours, Komarov circled Earth and attempted to re-enter Earth's atmosphere, but his ship, because of all of those structural problems, didn't work. And so 18 times he attempts to re-enter Earth's atmosphere, but each time it fails. And it was around this time that American intelligence recorded a conversation between a high-ranking Soviet leader on the ground and Komarov. And the leader on the ground is basically crying and saying they're so sorry to Komarov and that he's going to be a hero. They got his wife to come on, and his wife is talking to Komarov, and Komarov's telling her, what to do with the kids, what to do with his estate. He's perfectly fine and healthy, but the craft is doomed, and everybody knows it. Then that call ends, and Komarov, on his 19th attempt, is able to re-enter Earth's atmosphere, which everyone was pretty surprised he could even do that, but his parachutes failed. As Komarov is plunging to his death, over the radio, he's cursing the Soviet leadership that doomed him by putting him in a botched spaceship. And so sure enough, on April 24th, around 7 a.m., Komarov's craft smashes into the ground, killing Komarov. And when they open it up, it's clear what happened to him. He didn't die on impact. He basically burned alive inside of this capsule as it was careening down towards the Earth. And so all that's left of him is this charred pile. But because Komarov explicitly stated that they had to have an open casket funeral, specifically because he wanted the Soviet leadership to see what they had done to him, they had to hold an open casket funeral with just these charred remains. And here is the famous picture of Komarov's funeral.
Yeah.
Were the actual Soviet leaders that put him in that spaceship that was doomed. Here they are, viewing his open casket funeral. So that's going to do it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these 3 stories, and I will get back to all the early commenters. Plus,
I think they're crazy, MrBallen, but I've actually heard this last story before. A lot. All right, I really enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I did. And if you did, please go down there, leave a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow. While you're down there, if you want, go on over and slap that subscribe button, become part of the Bill 5000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here. And if you want to know when that crazy shit happens, ding that bell. It might work for you. It might not. More than likely, it probably won't. But if it does, it's going to be probably very, very late. But if it do, jump in on one of my premieres, get over in my live chat and be like, "Hey, Bill, look, me, you, and this thing we call a ding, we're going to have to get together a little bit more often. I really enjoyed myself." And I'm going to be like, "Hell yeah, leave a like and dip. That's all you got to do." As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Damn, MrBallen, I never want to go to space now. When I was little, I wanted to be a space cowboy. That's ruined.